What's going on, guys? Eric coming back at you from the Nerd Cave, and today we're going to go over how we list flat lay items. You may have seen in a previous video where I showed listing in my little light box that I have for some of my smaller items. I do sell a few larger items, so we're going to look at how we do those listings on a flat lay surface with our big old spotlight here. Makes it nice and pretty, well lit. And then we are going to also look at just packing a small order and what kind of like bubble mailers, boxes, stuff like that I do keep in stock. It's a lot smaller selection than your typical reseller that sells a greater variety of items. So if you're enjoying the content so far, if you're enjoying other videos that you've seen, please take the time to swing down to that subscribe button and give it an old slap, because that helps the channel out a ton. If you didn't know, only about 10% of people who view videos are going to take the time to subscribe. So you guys taking the time means the world to me. It does help us out big time. It helps us fund future giveaways. Speaking of which, that giveaway that we meant to do before has been stalled. The reason it's been stalled is because I didn't have any correct entries. So we are going to be looking at doing that giveaway in the future. We're going to give another place for people to enter. Hopefully we do have people that include not only what they enjoyed about the series, but also include an email where I can reach them so that if they win, I can give them their prize. But yeah, without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into how to pack flat lay items.
So the first thing to do is to get all your items pulled out, set your camera to about 1 by 1, and then start flipping around to take pictures from all sides. I did come across an item here that did have a sticker on it, so I did have to take a second to remove that sticker. You'll see that here, but everything looked great when it was all said and done.
So there you have it, folks. That's all it takes to do some flat lay listings on eBay. For me, I use my Harry Potter table, which you may have seen in past videos. For you, you could really use anything where you can lay an item completely flat, a big enough surface. I do have some issues with this table. It is a card table, so it's about, I don't know, 3.5 feet by 3.5 feet, something like that. So it's not huge. It fits in my space. As you guys can tell, I have a ton of stuff in here, so having a fairly small table is important to me. But if you ever do have to do large flat lay, having a modular table really helps. So if you follow me on other social media, you may see on like Facebook and stuff like that, I'll do posts of large collections that I pick up and they're laid out against a longer table. So I do use a fold out table, kind of like you would see at a convention or something like that. When I am doing those posts, I have something to lay out a huge space. Sometimes I'll put this table kind of next to it, do an L shape, and I can fit everything in that way. So getting creative with your space is really important. As you guys know, I'm doing resale out of less than 200 square feet of space in my home. So the next thing we're going to kind of look at is where I store some of my boxes, where I store my bubble mailers, and how I do pack a small order. So now we're going to take a look at what did sell in the last couple days on eBay. I do shipping 3 times a week. So generally we're looking at sales for 2 to 3 days. It's going to be the Super C cartridge and manual for NES, promotional Elder Scrolls Ouroboros. Next one is the soundtrack I picked up. I got this copy of NBA Jam. Next is something I just picked up recently. If you saw the video, I bought my friend's childhood collection with a little magic. I did just pick up a Krang. It's probably one of the more exciting things in the deal. I did have this guy priced locally at $35. I had him initially priced at $43 on eBay, and I did accept a best offer of $37.95. So I'm perfectly comfortable with that. It's a fair price for that figure. Next, I just picked these up in a huge buyout that I did. But I did a huge buyout, bought a giant collection, and in it was some BattleBots. The arena wasn't super worthwhile to sell, so I'll probably go ahead and donate that. But it did have some BattleBots with their remotes. So I did end up getting 4 BattleBots in there. They all have their remotes. Another thing I got in that collection, which I paid $300 for this whole collection. There's a ton of other stuff, so it was a great deal, were these NECA. This wasn't super on my radar. I don't do a ton of modern toys. I do more vintage toys and games. But I always try to pay attention to modern toys when they're cool. When I'm like, oh, that looks neat. That's probably got some value. So this did sell for about $60 shipped. And then the last item we have going out today is going to be Monster Party on NES. This did take a while to sell. It is in excellent condition. It is the cartridge and the manual. You can see there, cartridge, fantastic condition, manual, fantastic condition. This is one that I did pick up also in a video on the channel when I went and bought rare video games from a Dungeons & Dragons artist. Got this copy of Monster Party, so I've had it for a few months now, but it did sell for $39.95 free shipping. So great overall. We'll throw the total math on that for the breakdown as far as gross sales, our fees, shipping, that kind of stuff, and then our net proceeds from all of the items that we did sell today. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into how we pack and ship these items. There we go. Alright guys, so the next thing you want to do is head over to wherever you keep your boxes. The first thing I look at is what the items are that I have and what kind of size boxes I'm going to need so I can pull out all of my shipping materials at the same time, ship everything in one convenient space. So the first thing I know for sure is that I'm going to need the largest boxes that I typically carry in length dimensions, which are going to be these ones. These are 12 by 9 by 4 boxes. These are great for lots of different size carded action figures. I do think this box is going to work for our NECA set that we're shipping out with the Ninja Turtles, and if not, I think maybe with a little bit of alteration, we can get this one to work. I do also carry a variant, the 10 by 8 by 6. Tip for you guys who have an eBay store, you can get those through eBay with a 25 pack of them, which is about, honestly, about how many I go through every quarter. I ship, like I mentioned, mostly small items. So a 25 pack of those will end up costing you, with your coupon that you get from eBay for having a store, you get a $25 coupon every 3 months. After that, with shipping, those boxes will end up costing you about $3. So next thing I'm going to need is 2 of the smaller size boxes that I carry. In between these sizes, I do carry a 6 by 6 by 6 box, and then we jump down to one of my favorite boxes to ship loose action figures, really anything that's got a decent dollar value but is fairly small. This is an excellent size box for boxed video games, so for anybody who's out there shipping Super Nintendo games, N64 games, NES games in the box, love these boxes for that. This box is a 9 by 6 by 3. The other great thing about this box is it only takes a little bit of tape. For you guys who have been doing shipping for a little bit, you know your tape cost can definitely get up there pretty easily. This box is mostly fold, so you fold it in, fold it over, and then down like that. And you have a nice 9 by 6 by 3. This flap goes in like so. Great box. One piece of tape across the front. And this will do the job for most smaller stuff. So for today, we're going to be using these boxes. We're actually going to need 2 of them. We're going to have our Sega Genesis NBA Jam going out in one of these so it doesn't get damaged. And then we are also going to have our BattleBots going out in one of these. They're fairly fragile despite being designed to bang on each other. They're fairly thin plastic, it feels like, so I really want to protect them, and they are electronic, so it'll be worthwhile to put it in a 9 by 6 by 3 box. Everything else we do have going out today is going to travel in either bubble mailers or poly mailers, and I do keep those in a different area. So let's go ahead and jump over there and see what we need. So rather than going with a box for that copy of Monster Party, because it is in like a third-party aftermarket case that doesn't really matter a whole lot and should take a really limited amount of protection to actually keep safe in shipping, I'm going to go with a couple pieces of bubble wrap. I do have some leftover bubble wrap from packages I get in. Another great tip, hang on to your bubble wrap. If you're ordering packages off the internet, keep the bubble wrap. Bubble wrap is super expensive. It's like $20 a roll. So hang on to the bubble wrap, reuse your bubble wrap, reuse, recycle, you know, don't waste your stuff. Super worth it. I hang on to some of my boxes in larger sizes too, because like I said, I don't really order those. I order mainly small boxes. So the first thing we're going to need is one of these poly mailers. We get poly mailer this size. I think these are 12 by 10 poly mailers. A couple pieces of bubble wrap will do the job. So that's what that one's going to go in. The rest of the items we have going out today are going to be able to ship in bubble mailers. I do like to order bubble mailers in purple. It does end up costing me about 5 cents more per bubble mailer, but I think it does set me apart from the competition. I do keep all of my other shipping supplies in this little nook. This is also my light nook. For anybody who's seen me in the past do listings, I have this little space in here. I keep my tape guns in there. I've got CD cases. Another tip on CD cases, you can sometimes find those at Walmart pretty cheap. You can also find them once in a while at Goodwill for super cheap. I keep my scale over here. Like I said, I ship mostly small stuff, so I only need a small kitchen scale that weighs up to 11-pound items. Got my bubble mailers up top. Got my labels for my Rollo printer. These are actually hard cases and sleeves for like video games, different size video games, like you can see some up here. I got like Game Boy ones and stuff, and then we do have a larger size poly mailer that we use for like shirts and things like that when we have to ship those out. And so like I said, I don't carry a lot of different shipping supplies. The last thing we're going to need to ship out today's item is going to be 4 bubble mailers. Boom, right there, got it. 4 purple bubble mailers. I want to say these are 9x6 bubble mailers, 8x6, 9x6. You can go either size. 9x6 fits stuff a little bit better. I do actually order the ones that are, they appear cheaper with this plastic strip, but the ones with the more metallic looking strip were actually doing damage to my table, leaving residue all over the place, so I stopped using those ones. So 4 of the bubble mailers, and then we'll go ahead and jump into the actual packing montage. These boxes are pretty sturdy. Fail. Had this been a $100 game, I'd definitely be bubble wrapping it. But for this, just a little bit of paper. And I'll go 1 battle bottom. Fold that over. Second battle bot in, thank you card, and boom. Card. That's packing items. Now to get the labels on. So the next thing I have to do is get the weight of all my items and print all of my labels. So as you may be able to see here, got my scale out, got the tablet out. This is what I use to do my label printing. It's nice and convenient next to my label maker. Like I mentioned, I do like a lot of modular things in my space. I have a fairly small space to try to work out of. This way I can kind of pull the cord out, plug it in, print my labels, and then kind of pack the cord back away. I don't have to have this somewhere over by where the laptop is. First things first, I do have to head on over to eBay. I have a new offer on one of my items, so I guess I'll take a quick peek at that offer. It's probably not going to be good. Offers are usually not great. Typically I turn on best offer to keep the items active, and then ultimately it'll lead to somebody buying it for full price. So this one, you can see I've already had some higher dollar offerings that I've declined. This person's offering $50. We're honestly not even in the same ballpark for this one, so I'm just going to go ahead and decline their offer. My eBay selling, so where we'll see all of our orders awaiting shipment. We got 8 orders right now waiting to be shipped. We'll click on that. This is by no means a fancy operation. I actually dropped this tablet not that long ago. I got a big black spot in the corner now. So eventually I'll need to replace this. But this is doing the job for now. As far as just getting my labels out. I do some of my like Photoshop and that kind of stuff on here. I'm looking to potentially get a version of Photoshop that's going to work on the laptop a little bit better. But here we have all my listings that have sold. So the first thing we want to do is start getting the weights for the items. So as you can see, Monster Party is at the top there. So we're going to go ahead and pull out Monster Party. We're going to turn the scale on That's a big part of using a scale. For anybody who's not used a scale before, when it's not on, it doesn't like that. So slap that guy on the scale. Looks like we're just under 8 ounces, which is excellent. I actually have this one listed as a 12-ounce listing. My goal is always to beat the total that comes up on screen. So in this instance, it was $30.12, but it is showing that one of them actually isn't tracking for its weight right now. So I'm probably not going to beat that total, but hopefully we'll end up around $30 shipping those 9 items out. So first one's down, and then I like to kind of lay them out in the order that they are ordered in. Ninja Turtles, we're looking at a 2-pound weight, so that is 1 pound 6 ounces. For anybody who doesn't know, anything over 1 pound is going to ship at a 2-pound rate, and parcel select and priority mail are about a 60-cent difference. That is going to go priority mail. It's also a nice way to make it look like the price is lower. People don't always account for shipping in what the price of the item is, which I always think is interesting. We got our battle bots here coming in just under 12 ounces, which again is excellent. That jumped us up because that was the one that didn't have a price on it because it couldn't do first class. So that jumped us up to $37.43. So Krang, we've got under 4 ounces. We had that one listed as 8 ounce. That's going to bring us down a bit. Yeah, 11 ounces. Genesis games with the box like that are generally going to be in that ballpark, but it's worth it to protect the game. Fantasia CD. This is going to go media mail, so it really doesn't matter what exactly it weighs because it's going to be $3.49. It used to be $3.19. Actually went up 30 cents, which is crazy. I'm in at 6 ounces. And the Ouroboros coming in just under 4 ounces. And as you can see there, our updated shipping total is going to be $36.80 to ship those 9 items. Confirm and pay. Alright, so the next thing is going to be to get our labels printed. I cannot stress enough, if you're anybody who's doing more than 5 or 10 sales on eBay or really any other platform, Mercari, anything like that, anything that's going to support a thermal printer printing 6x4 labels, spend the money, get a thermal printer. Do not use ink. Ink is incredibly expensive. You're going to save money in the long run. This thermal printer is the Polono thermal printer. Only costs about $100. I don't have an affiliate link. I'm not that fancy yet. Maybe one day, but highly recommend that. Not a sponsor. And just like that, we have all the labels that we need. I do typically like to do a packing slip. Inside tip, because I know a lot of people don't like to do packing slips. The reason for that is it requires printing something. It's not something that prints in a 6x4 format, so you can't print it on a thermal printer, at least not a thermal printer that most resellers have. But I have been able to communicate with my local post office. So basically what I do now is I'll go ahead and take a photo of the entire packing slip, and then I'll take a photo of just the scan, so it's a little bit easier to scan. Edit it down so they can still see how many packages are on there and stuff. That stuff does come up on their end, but just to show that you're not trying to like get a fast one over on them, I think it's worthwhile. You don't know how your local post office is going to react. What I end up with is something like that. Go ahead and cover up the barcode at the bottom as far as what the actual tracking number is, but you get this little scan acceptance code. It's right on your phone. Nice photo, nice and big. It is something that is going to scan for them without issue, and it saves me from having to print anything. So we go ahead and save a tree, and I still bring them a scan sheet, and we don't have to, nobody has to stand there and scan a million packages. I don't have to stand there and wait for them to do that. I can get my receipt and leave. So definitely a great insider tip. But let's go ahead and get these labels on, and we're ready to go. So I like to go back just in case, because I do write the items on everything that I ship. I do like to go back and just make sure that I am putting all the right labels. So this one, Bill, this is actually a return seller for me. So shout out to Bill. If you're tuned into the YouTube channel at all, thank you so much for your support. It means an absolute ton to me. So we'll go ahead and get the label on, fling it over there. Next one, we got a fellow by the name of Dominic. Got the Ninja Turtles going out to them. Label on. BattleBots going out to Ryan in Hawaii. That's cool. Gustavo over in California. I don't send a lot of stuff to California. I have had an experience with eBay that California People, I don't want to bulk you all into one thing, but a lot of the offers I get on toys and video games from California are from people who are incredibly cheap. And I know the cost of living is higher there, but honestly, like, the offers that I get from California are just, like, bad. Like, it's less than half of what I have things listed for a lot of times. Yeah, NBA Jam going out to Michael over in Connecticut. Guy by the name of Glenn in Connecticut. That's our media mail package. Got Fantasia. We do have our Ouroboros going out to Nick. Oh, West Palm Beach, Florida. Shout out to my people in West Palm Beach. We're in Florida too, if you didn't know. Then last but not least, we do have Super C going out to Joshua. So that is that. That's getting everything packaged, labeled, and ready to go. Now we just have to get it into a bag. Typically, I do use a larger IKEA bag to ship everything, but since I do have such a limited amount of stuff going out today, I did decide to go ahead and use my MegaCon Orlando bag. Shout out MegaCon. Boom. There you have it, folks. That is how you pack orders and how you go ahead and photograph flat lay items for listings on eBay. If you're enjoying the content at all, remember to subscribe. It helps us out a ton. If you want to slap that like button. If you have any comments on how I pack stuff, or you're curious about how you could pack stuff, how you can make it work in your own tiny space, go ahead and drop a comment below. We always love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. And when you see those toys and video games off in the distance, it's not a mirage. You guys have a great day.